Hey everyone, Chris here. So the Unearthed Arcana for expert classes has now dropped, and I did a first reading, and I did not do so alone. I did it with Taryn from Indestructiboy, and we basically went through the entire document bit by bit and kind of talked about our first reactions to each of the changes. Our conversation lasted 4 hours, so we're not going to throw it all in one video, but this will be the first part of that discussion. Now, pedants, I know you're out there, and you comment on all my videos, so this would be a great one for you to comment on because these are first reactions, so I'm sure I made little slip-ups because I was going off of memory, and after 4 hours, the endurance was going as well. So you can help me discover all the little things that I might have misread. So go ahead and comment down below. I know you would have anyway, but go ahead and do it this time for sure. So here is the first part of my discussion with Taryn about the expert classes.
With the new system coming out, like usually what I'm focused on my channel is more about like I am like big on homebrew. I just want to write. I love understanding the system to like make new character options happen, new classes, whatever. And I love having that kind of a discussion and seeing like I'm kind of prepping myself for what's coming up with the new edition because I'm like, what new license am I going to need to learn and all that? Like what's going to happen now with these classes? What's our power budget looking like for each class? And now that we're getting into classes with this, just based off of what I heard in the video from yesterday, I'm already like, I'm very optimistic for what we're going to see out of the future of 1D&D. I mean, so have you said that you got a little bit further into this already?
I did not get very far. I read as far as the Bard, and
Okay.
my thought is rein in your optimism.
Okay.
There's some stuff there that looked good. There's some stuff that shattered some expectations I had, predictions I had made that I was fairly confident of. We can now throw out the window. I noticed at least one change that is going to have people's heads exploding. So,
Okay.
in my opinion, I think it'll be something that blows people away. Maybe not in a good way. So we'll see. But I mean, based on the first playtest, I am pretty optimistic for 1D&D in general because I loved a lot of what I saw there.
Yeah.
And I haven't gotten far into this document, and I assume there will be lots I love about this document as well. But it looks like there's going to be a couple bombshells. So maybe just one, but I wouldn't be surprised if, being that there was one, that there might be more to come.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll measure my expectations, but I liked what I was hearing yesterday in the video. We can kind of just go past the first page. This is all stuff that just feels like it's kind of clarifying, like kind of what we already know about these classes.
I guess the one thing we should mention is it does include what will be in this playtest. So this will kind of go over what we're going to cover. We're going to cover the expert classes, which is the Bard, the Ranger, and the Rogue. Each one is going to include one subclass, and I got the impression yesterday that we weren't going to see any subclasses, but each one is going to include one subclass here in this document. They're going to have feats in this document that they figure specifically relate to these classes. Mm-hmm. They're going to have all 3 spell lists right up to 9th level. And then another rules glossary that Jeremy Crawford said would be pretty beefy. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I was about to say it's a 37-page PDF. Like, jeez. All right, so we have all that information. There's the playtest information on the first page. We can probably get through there. Parts of a class. If your primary ability, the primary ability of a class is critical to some of the class's features. So when you create your character, the ability, that ability is a great place to put your highest scores. Similarly, whenever you get an ability score improvement feat, consider increasing your primary ability. Finally, to use the multi-classing rules, you must have at least a score of 13 in the primary ability of your class. So are they...
No changes.
Yeah, it sounds like they're just like simplifying some of the wording. Maybe like they're saying we can refer to a primary ability of the class now. The class groups, we saw this happen yesterday, or Jeremy Crawford was talking about it, but now we have the definitive like word here. So now we have the experts, which includes the bard, ranger, rogue, the mages, which includes the sorcerer, warlock, and wizard, priests, including the cleric, druid, and paladin, and then the warriors, including the barbarian, fighter, and monk.
And then there's a little footnote that the artificer is also an expert. And the only one that I wasn't certain, like this is no surprise, but the only one I was not certain, I thought monk might be a priest and paladin might be a warrior.
Yeah.
But it looks like monk is the warrior and paladin is the priest.
Yeah, I think that there's, I mean, just if I'm seeing maybe some kind of through line, like, well, I don't know. It's always kind of odd to me that they're throwing monk in with warriors because it doesn't feel quite right in there to me, quite as like the swap of paladin with monk would. But that's, I guess it's neither here nor there. We'll be creating a member of the class. A class's description includes a section on how to create a member of that class. That section tells you how to determine your hit points, which proficiencies and armor training you get from the class, and equipment the class provides at first level, and how to use multi-classing rules with the class. This is all what I'm going. Yeah, I'm just assuming that this is all pretty much just.
I mean, the only thing I notice different there at all is they do mention that the multi-classing rules will be listed with the class, but that's just in the playtest. We don't know if that'll be different in the player's handbook.
All right, they are going to start us out right on page 3 with the bard.
And I think we could probably skip the flavor text. I think our viewers probably know what a bard is.
So we're going to go to page 4, creating a bard, and they did. I had the idea, like.
There's a couple things we should note about the class chart.
Yeah.
Because I had some speculation yesterday, wondering since Bard wasn't going to be a mage, whether they were still going to get 9th level spells. It looks like the spell progression is identical.
Yeah.
It looks like the bardic die progression is identical.
It's the same with bardic inspiration. Well, I don't know if they're going to do songs of restoration the same, but this is a thing I was thinking like. There was no reason to really split Bardic Inspiration from Songs of Restoration, like the die size. It just always felt so weird. Like
the one thing I'll notice is the magical secrets are gained at different levels. So I see magical secrets at 11th and 15th. So they still get magical secrets, but it looks like the levels have been changed. And there's probably other stuff there. Expertise, I think, is different. So some stuff has been moved around, but it looks like basically the same stuff that they had before.
Yeah,
they still get.
Okay, so a D8 class, like we're used to seeing, everything looks. Did they lose some weapon proficiencies? I thought that they had rapier, right?
Yeah, they did. They have lost weapon proficiencies. I think simple weapons. It was definitely more than that. Let me verify, but I'm certain they had a collection of weapons that they were proficient in. So they've simplified that for sure. It used to be simple weapons, hand crossbows, long swords, rapiers, and short swords. So they have lost some weapon proficiencies.
I wonder if that's the thing that they might just give out to like more of the Gish type bards later on, but odd.
Armor training is the same.
Yeah. 3 musical instruments. So they have the suggestions, deception, performance, or persuasion, or any 3 skills of your choice. Okay. All right. Starting equipment. Oh, okay. So you can forgo any of the starting equipment here and spend 100 gold pieces on equipment of your choice.
I bet you that's flat. My guess would be it's going to be 100 gold pieces for all these classes. We'll see.
So that would be in every. So your background and your race loadout, your background and your class loadout is supposed to give you 150, I guess, total to spend on equipment.
Well, I know you could, yes, because it's 50 gold for every background. It might be a different amount for different classes now that I think about armor costs, but it's definitely going to be flat. Yeah. Like before you had the roll, they've removed the roll. Hooray.
Yeah.
Good. Don't hate the roll. Just tell me how much money I get.
Yeah. Multi-classing, all that. Okay, that all looks essentially the same as what we've seen.
Yep, the same armor.
You gain your first bard level. You gain okay. Add all your bard levels.
And of course, here's the non-surprise under spell slots. You prepare your spells for each of your classes individually. You're preparing your spells.
So so the multi-classing to get spell slots, the level of the spell slots is still the same as it is currently in 5e, but they're
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
It looks like the multi-classing here is pretty much the same. I don't notice any difference anyways.
Is there really any thoughts you have on like Bard switching over to a prep caster?
Yeah, I'm for it.
Yeah,
I'm for bards, sorcerers, warlocks, rangers. Make them all prepared so that a new player who picked the wrong spells doesn't get punished for doing so.
yeah.
And they'll figure out it's the wrong spell, and then they can correct it. Right? Then you go, wow, that spell didn't work the way I thought it worked. Well, I'll pick a different spell, and they can just wait till the next long rest, and they can do it, and they don't get stuck with it until they gain a level. And I mean, in a sorcerer's case, it might be you picked multiple wrong spells.
Yeah.
And then you might be waiting multiple levels. And if you're making the wrong choices as you level up, you never catch up. So I'm all for making everything prepared.
Yeah. And you know, we say like,
but they do need to find other ways to differentiate.
Yes.
The classes.
Well, the like spellcasting identity, right? Like, what's going to make you unique as a sorcerer? Is it just going to be meta magic?
It might just be meta magic. I mean, meta magic is pretty big, but we'll see.
It's really cool. I think that the feat. I mean, we'll see whenever we get there. I don't want to like speculate too hard.
Let's stick on what we're talking about now.
Yeah. So your Bard class features. First level, you're gonna get. Yeah.
I see something different on Bardic Inspiration right away.
Okay, so with Bardic Inspiration, you can supernaturally inspire others through your words, music, or dance. This inspiration is represented by your Bardic Inspiration die, which is a D6. Using Bardic Inspiration, you can use your Bardic Inspiration die in the following ways. Boost a D20 test. When another creature within 60 feet of you that you can see or hear fails a D20 test, you can use your reaction to give the creature a Bardic Inspiration die. The creature rolls that die and adds it, so potentially turning the failure into a success.
That's the same.
Wait, is it?
Then there's heal. Immediately after a creature within your 60 feet of you that you can see or hear takes damage, you can use your reaction to roll a Bardic Inspiration die and restore a number of hit points to the creature equal to the number rolled. Ooh. So basically, the boosted D20 test is exactly what Bardic Inspiration is now, and it's exact. They call it test, but ability check, saving throw, attack roll, that's what it always was. But what has changed here is you now have a new use of your inspiration, and that is to do a reaction heal when somebody takes damage. And it looks like it is soon as they take damage. So if it is something that could take them below 0, that might be a really good reaction.
Yeah. Wait, so the boosting the D20 test, is this the same? Because you're not giving them...
It's identical.
As the current 5e one?
Mm-hmm.
No,
I believe so. What do you see that's different?
You have to use your reaction whenever the creature fails.
Oh, a reaction.
Yeah, see?
You are right.
But
that's significantly different.
And it's also, I thought that the creature had to hear you. Not you could.
So you're not giving dice anymore.
No, you're just like
you're just using reactions.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's no longer a bonus action that they have. It's I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but like, man, this is gonna really mess up a lot of bards that were like.
I can see one advantage to doing it this way, because what does the bard always complain about?
No one uses their Bardic Inspiration.
What does the Bard player always complain about? Yeah, no one uses my Bardic Inspiration die. I give it out to them and then they let it expire. So that's gone. So that's kind of interesting. That is, and then it's really up to the Bard player. How many are you going to give out? But it is going to use up a lot of reactions. That's now I see they have changed the number of uses. It's no longer your charisma. Yeah. It says Bardic Inspiration die a number of times. Guess what? Equal to your proficiency bonus, you get it back on a long rest.
Man, I personally not a big fan of this idea.
Yeah, the proficiency bonus per long rest. I mean, let's face it. Are you surprised?
No.
No, neither am I. This is the way. Yeah. And we're going to see this phrasing a lot. The reaction to use your Bardic Inspiration die blows me away. I read it through and I'm like, is it still a test? Yes, it's still ability checks, saving throws, and attack rolls. Yes, you're still adding it after the roll. Yes. Oh, it's the same. And then I went on and you're like, wait, Look
Yeah,
again.
no,
Yeah.
because
Reaction.
it did catch me because I'm like, well, now we have Bard acting in a completely different way, and it's kind of weird that like you have this like, oh, if you can see or hear it fail, you then use your reaction to like play a quick song,
Yeah.
and then it can see and swear. You know, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I can understand how some of the time you're going to have to suspend your disbelief,
Yeah,
because you're going to have, somebody has failed their hide check, and you could only hear them.
right.
And it's like, I don't think they're full. I was listening, and I don't think they crouched enough. Hey, you hide better.
Oh, that's yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Call them out. Yeah. I mean, I think the idea is interesting. Switching it over to a reaction. The number of uses, they're gonna go in this direction.
Yep. My thought is they're going to have a survey, and if you don't like using a reaction for a bardic inspiration die, let them know. If you don't like it being proficiency bonus, let them know if you want, but it's not going to make any difference. That's not changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way things are going to be in these. Lots of proficiency bonus based stuff and a lot less ability score based stuff.
Well, I kind of wonder if, well, and I guess we'll see it later. Wait, did they get font of inspiration? Oh, did they remove? Oh, wait, font of, okay. So we'll see.
Let's go through this one at a time.
All right.
So first level, I'm not going to read word for word. I am going to skim. But first level, we get spell casting. So first off, prepared spells, and they make their recommendations. They're recommending color spray, disguise self, prestidigitation, and vicious mockery. I said yesterday, don't trust them for good spell selections. This confirms that. Then it says, alternatively, you can prepare 2 0 level spells and 2 first level spells of your choice. This tells me that cantrips are now prepared spells, which means you'll be able to change them with your long rest, and that you can choose. And people have been asking me about this because we've had our 3 categories of spells defined as primal, divine, and arcane. And they said, well, that's terrible because it means that, you can have bards and wizards and sorcerers and warlocks all with the exact same spells. Nope. The bard can select from the arcane spell list, but they must select divination, enchantment, illusion, or transmutation spells. So that is definitely going to limit. Now, unless they've changed something on the arcane list, I would not expect the bard to get healing spells anymore. So maybe it's a good thing they can heal with their inspiration. Because before they could get cure wounds and healing word and all that stuff. It's not going to be on their list anymore. And then, it says after long rest, you can re-prepare your spells. And again, you can prepare for 0 level spells. So cantrips can be changed now. Spell slots are the same. And the progression chart looked, I didn't compare exactly, but it looked the same to me at first glance. Charisma is still your casting stat. You can still use a musical instrument as your spellcasting focus. We're going to get expertise at 2nd level. I believe it was 3rd level for bards. So now it's 2nd level. And then 2nd level, you get Songs of Restoration. Oh, and okay. So I need to revise the statement I said about 30 seconds ago. You've learned how to use music, poetry, and dance to heal wounds and maladies. When you reach certain levels in this class, you add a specific spell to your Songs of Restoration repertoire, as shown in the Songs of Restoration's repertoire table. You'll always have that spell prepared, and it doesn't count against the number of spells you can prepare. 2nd level, Healing Word. 4th level, Lesser Restoration. 6th level, Mass Healing Word. 8th level, Freedom of Movement. And 10th level, Greater Restoration. So you will be able to access those spells. They have a special way to do it. It looks to me like the Bard is going to get a similar list to what they had. What do you think?
What I think that could have been a little bit more interesting than, because I mean, let's be real here. Songs of Rest, or was that right? Song of Rest?
Songs of Restoration?
Well, no, sorry, the original, the 2014 Bard feature.
Oh yeah, Song of Rest, where you can add to short rests.
I never saw anybody use it ever.
I saw people use it, but nobody was excited about it.
Yeah, right. Like this is flashy. This is here. It's more spells. We're getting Bard that can act as it's still a pseudocaster. You're not getting cure wounds. As far as we can tell, right?
Yeah, how often are you taking both Healing Word and Cure Wounds?
And
And
that's fair.
I think most people think Healing Word is the better spell of the two, right? I think so. I
Me-
certainly do.
Mechanically, yeah, I would say so. Like, I mean, just
It may be
yeah.
less iconic. I'm impressed that they've done the better spell rather than the more iconic spell,
Right. Uh,
right?
I do wonder. I mean, okay, so you're gonna be able to cast them with the spell slots you have. Like, it's we do have
It's
the
extra spells. No, we kind of saw something like this with the Ranger a little bit
yeah.
in the optional class features, where they just said, "Here's some extra spells that we think are rangery, and you're going to get them." Except you could cast those for free. But these are useful spells. Healing Word is a good spell. Lesser
Yeah.
Restoration it's a decent spell. Mass Healing Word can be a good spell. Freedom of Movement is circumstantial, but I like having it on my list. And same thing with Greater Restoration. I'm on board for all of these, and they'll
Yeah.
be just extra known spells, right?
Yeah,
Or
that
extra prepared spells.
that's the great thing is like you don't have to prepare them, right? They're just always you just always have these. I mean, it just personally as a designer, it's like I guess if we see them go in this route where it's like every class is going to have this expectation, like an expectation of what's in their loadout, right? Cleric had better
I
have,
think
you know,
I think with this one there's a special case because Bards had a weird spell list
yeah, fair.
that doesn't fit into the neat categories that they made. This is a way around that so that you can still have the Bard be a healer without having to sacrifice them having access to arcane spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm on board for this, and I think it makes sense. The only thing I do think it does is it kind of forces you into a role, or at least, I mean, there were lots of bards who didn't bother with healing, and now, yes, they're at least on your list, so that it's a resource that you're forced to have now rather than choose to have.
And I will say I was really worried how like if they were just gonna throw out like as a wizard you can just prepare the arcane spells whatever and then everybody else can just get that because like that was part
Yeah.
of wizards. Did I say druid?
No, you said wizard.
Okay, it was like that was part of wizards' big power budget was they got this massive spell list compared to everybody else. So I was really worried whenever I had first seen that like.
Well, we'll have to see what happens with sorcerers and warlocks.
Yeah.
But certainly when it comes to bards, we can now confirm they do not have unfettered access to the wizard spell list.
I like that idea of characterizing each different class with specific spell schools. There's a lot of flavor out of that. I
Well,
love
certainly
that.
with bard, I think these are the iconic. If you look at the bard spell list, they did pick spells from those schools. So they're continuing with that. So Bard subclass available same level, third level, and the College of Lore I saw was included with this particular document. And then you're going to get the feat. Now I had wondered, are they going to mess with when you get ability score increases? They are not. So you're going to get it at fourth level, just as you did before. They call it a feat. Of course, now a feat is all one feat that is going to be available is ability score increase, where you increase your ability score by 2. This is semantics. It makes no difference.
Yeah.
Right. But I did have some people comment. I mentioned yesterday that mechanically there's no difference. And they said, yeah, but it feels different because when it's an ability score increase and you have to give it up for a feat, it feels like you're sacrificing something. Well, if you're just getting a feat and then you have ability score increase as one of the options, it doesn't feel like you get. So maybe there's a difference in feeling. I'm telling you, mechanically identical.
Yeah, there's literally no difference. And like, sure, that's important. Like the perceived loss of value. The perceived loss of value is the entire reason why the Strixhaven UA got scrapped. The one that did the specific subclasses for different classes. Because Bard was always going to lose out on one of the subclass loadouts, one feature of the subclass loadouts. It led to bad play feel, a bad reaction, and that perceived loss of value. It's important, but again, this is in every essence the exact same thing that we already have.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jack of all trades at 5th level. So this used to be gained at 2nd level. So this is gained later now. But it says you add half your proficiency bonus round down to any ability check you make that uses a skill proficiency you lack that doesn't otherwise use your proficiency bonus. This is different. This is there's a big difference here. That uses a skill proficiency is the difference. Because before you could add it to your initiative roll and your counterspell check and your dispel magic check. They have now specified it must use a skill proficiency. So they have, and I'm sure it was never intended to work with your initiative and all that in the first place. And it was an oops.
Do you think
That's the way I would guess. And they have unoopsed it. It is only usable for your skills now. Then at 6th level, subclass feature, that's normal.
Yeah.
7th level, font of bardic inspiration. This was at 5th level before. It is now at 7th level. You now regain all your expended uses of bardic inspiration when you finish a short or a long rest. I was wrong. I have predicted for quite a while that short rest recover features were gone. I am wrong. They are still here.
Yeah.
So that answers a lot of questions I had about what was going to happen when we got to Warlock.
Well, yeah, I think Warlock fans are going to be pretty happy just seeing this right here.
Just seeing this, that it's still on the table. Short rest stuff is still there.
Yeah.
So font of inspiration essentially is the same, which is a big bit. In addition, if a creature rolls your bardic inspiration die and gets a 1.
Oh,
that use of your bardic inspiration isn't expended.
Ooh,
that's interesting.
That's okay. So, that was part of my qualm with Eloquence Bard was like their number one, they got 2 6th level features, and one of them was just so universally good for every bard. Though, like if they fail to roll, it's not expended. Part of that, I'm so happy to see them parting that out into like every bard, and no
right away. My optimization brain thinks, so if I have my reaction available and somebody misses by 1, I definitely.
Yeah.
Because even if they roll 1, they'll get the success and won't expend it.
Oh, that
funny. That would be just a beautiful situation. 8th level, you get a feat. This is the same. 9th level, you get expertise in 2 more skills. No, this is the first time. No, you got it at 3rd.
Yeah.
Second level now. So you get in 2 more skills at level 9.
Yep.
Level 10, you get a subclass feature. That is the same. Magical Secrets is now 11th level.
No, it's not.
They
got a 10th level subclass feature.
Oh, and it used to be...
They didn't have a 10th level subclass feature originally in the player's handbook.
You're right. Yep, that's way earlier than the next one.
Oh, okay.
Because before they had to wait until 14th level.
Yeah.
So now they get it at 10th. Oh, that makes me hopeful for the Sorcerer as well, because it had a big gap as well.
Yeah. Well, and wait, Rogue's 3rd to 9th
Rogue's
disparity.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. Well, we're going to see that one today.
Yeah.
So Magical Secrets is now at 11th level instead of 10th. You choose a spell list, Arcane, Divine, or Primal. Whenever you prepare spells for this class, up to 2 of the spells you can prepare can be from any of the chosen list, from the chosen list and from any school of magic. The prepared spells otherwise follow the rules for your bard spellcasting features. So this is better because you're not just selecting 2 spells and you're stuck with them. You're selecting 2 spells. Now you have to choose the category, but you can change them.
11th level it's a cool level for this to kick on. Does it say up to 2 spells, any chosen list from any school of magic, the prepared spells? Okay. I was trying to make sure that they had something.
You're going to choose so when you get Magical Secrets, you're going to say Arcane. And then whenever you prepare spells, you can choose any 2 arcane spells as part of your list.
Right.
Then you get a feat at level 12. That is the same. Subclass feature at 14th level. That is the same. And then further Magical Secrets at 15th level. So now you're going to choose a spell list that you didn't choose for your Magical Secrets feature. So you're going to choose a second spell list.
Oh, interesting.
Whenever you prepare your bard spells, 2 of the spells you prepare can be from the chosen list and from any school of magic. So basically, you would choose, let's say you chose Divine and Primal. 2 of your spells can be any spell from Divine, and 2 of the spells you choose can be from Primal. Again, I'd say it's better, but it's forcing you to be a little bit. You can't just put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, it's forcing a diversity in your portfolio with spells, which I like, but at the same time, I'm like, usually this type of like forced arbitration of like, some people are just going to hand wave that. I mean, if they make it up to 15th level anyways, but you know, I think some people are going to miss out on the fact that Bard was just this like kind of open, wily, I can get whatever I want to kind of a class, like grab bag.
You can still get whatever you want to. And in fact, I would argue it's even more so.
Really?
Because because you can change your choice, right? So, you know, I really want this spell. I'm getting it.
Oh,
now tomorrow I want this spell and I'm going to get it.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because you prep from any of the. Never mind.
Yeah.
This is people are going to love this.
This is good. This is very, very good. The one thing I'll note that is because it is 15. No, even that. Before you had spell level things, right? Yeah. So your 10th level magical secrets, you couldn't choose anything above 5th level. Now, as you level, it will get better.
Yeah.
Automatically with you. So yeah, very, very good. 16th level feat. So I notice all the feat and the ability score increase levels, they match up. So it's 16th and then again at 19th.
Yep.
At 18th level, we're going to get what was our capstone, Superior Bardic Inspiration. When you roll initiative, you regain 2 expended uses of your Bardic Inspiration. That used to be 1. Is that correct?
I believe it was 1, and it also doesn't specifically state if you have 0 anymore.
Right.
If you don't have any, yeah.
So this is just a straight out increase or improvement, which is good because the old one sucked.
They're going to have to fix this, though. This could literally just mean you're going to go out, punch a cat, get 2 uses of Bardic Inspiration.
Well, there's mega rats.
Yeah.
Mega rats. Yeah. Is that a real problem with bards? Are we really worried that our 18th level bard has full inspiration?
It's just the kind of thing that you could write for in a way that doesn't allow for the exploit in a pretty easy way. It's just, You know.
It could be just a wording thing.
Yeah.
Though it could be something that we already see in a coming playtest.
Yeah.
Because really the DM decides when initiative is being rolled. And there's no reason a DM has to say, when you say, I'm going to open my bag of rats and start killing them, that the DM has to say, well, roll initiative.
That's
and
fair.
It doesn't need to happen. 19th level feat, as usual. 20th level. So all classes will get an epic boon at 20th level. And I think we're going to see some of them in this playtest because Jeremy Crawford said he was going to include feats up to 20th level. So we should be able to see some of these.
Yeah.
And it says you can choose the epic boon of luck feat or another epic boon feat of your choice. Prepared bard spell. So it's going to give you some suggestions for prepared bard spells. My suggestion is don't use these suggestions. All right. Bard subclasses. This is as far as I read is this part. And get ready. Heads are exploding here in 1 minute and counting. College of Lore.
Okay.
3rd level, you get bonus proficiencies. You gain 3 skill proficiencies, Arcana, History, and Nature. If you already have one of these proficiencies, choose a skill proficiency you lack and gain that proficiency. Slightly more or less flexible before you just chose.
Yeah.
Now you get these ones unless you already have them. Not a big deal. Cutting words, you learn how to use your wit supernaturally to distract, confuse, and otherwise sap confidence and competence of others. When a creature that you can see within 60 feet of yourself succeeds on an ability check or attack roll, you can use your reaction to expand one of your bardic inspiration, blah, 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 subtract from the creature's roll, potentially turning it into a failure. You can no longer subtract from damage rolls.
Oh.
Yeah, you used to be able to use cutting words to subtract from damage rolls. You can't anymore. If there might be other changes, but that's what I noticed. Oh no, I noticed another one. Ability. No, it was usable on ability checks before.
Yeah,
that's it. Damage rolls. But here it is. Dun dun dun.
Cunning inspiration.
6th level. What did lore bards get at 6th level that people were kind of excited about?
Additional magical secrets. Yeah. So what?
That's gone.
Okay.
You no longer get additional magical secrets with Lore Bard. Instead, you get Cunning Inspiration. Through your studies and your cunning, you've learned to inspire others exceptionally well. When any creature rolls your bardic inspiration die, that creature can roll the die twice and use the higher of the 2 rolls. That replaces 2 magical secret selections. Yes. So everyone watching, don't blame us.
Yeah.
This isn't our fault. We're just the messenger.
Yeah, this.
I read this. I'm like, what?
Part of what makes lore bards so cool was that and I said this in my review of the class. They were the most bardy bard. It was like you were getting. It wasn't just like, oh yeah, from the skill proficiencies you were getting additional NE3. Very cool. You were getting just a markedly better enhancement on bardic inspiration that didn't necessarily feel quite as specific as some of the other bard colleges did. And then at 6th level, compared to every other bard, you were getting a later level feature earlier. And yes, lore was the most bardy bard. And this is... Oh.
I was reading this to myself.
Oof.
And I literally out loud said, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. No.
That's not going to get a good reaction.
Hey, everyone. There's going to be a survey.
Do the survey.
So let them know what you think. If you like getting rid of magical secrets on 6th level lore bards, tell them you love it. The rest of us, maybe we'll say something else. Yeah. All right.
Wow.
10th level, improve cutting words. Whenever you use your cutting words feature on a creature, you can do psychic damage equal to the number rolled on the bardic inspiration die plus your charisma modifier. Yeah.
It's not really even as good as like a cantrip, quote unquote.
I mean, it's an add-on. Yeah. Right? You're using your cutting words anyways, so you get a little bit of damage on top.
Very slight.
It'll eventually be a D12 plus 5.
Well,
right?
Yeah,
that'll be
fair.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's not terrible. And then 14th level,
it is damage as a reaction that way.
Well, it's included, right? You're cutting words, it's a reaction already.
I'm just thinking of like how unique that is. Like, I mean, it's something we haven't seen before. Well,
Hellish Rebuke.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm just like,
or Tempest Cleric.
I just mean this as like this is.
It's not. We've seen it before.
This is just something. It seems. For it being built, I mean, I'm just talking about it specifically with like the bardic inspiration use. And
I don't think we've seen bardic inspiration. Well, certainly not on cutting words. I mean, there was the Whispers bard who could use their bardic inspiration, and the Swords bard. So there were ways to do. And the Valor bard. So lots of ways to do damage with inspiration up to now. But we've never saw it on cutting words before.
Yeah,
And then Peerless Skill at 14th level. When you make an ability check and fail, you can expand one use of bardic inspiration. Roll the bardic inspiration. I think this is the same. Is this identical? Yeah, it's the same. Okay, so Peerless Skill is unchanged. So you get an additional subclass feature at 10th level, the improved cutting words. But yeah, no additional magical secrets at 6th level, which I was huge. I was really shocked, and that's as far as I have read. This is all new to me now.
Okay, I mean, any quick thoughts on bards? What we've seen?
The base class bard, I don't think it is hugely changed. If anything, if there were any surprises on the base class, it's that there weren't more changes. A lot of stuff is kind of moved around a little bit, or little tweaks. The reaction for using your bardic inspiration die is interesting. Yeah. I would be interested to see how that works in gameplay. I could totally see, because I cannot tell you the number of times that I've heard bard players say, "Why don't you use my bardic inspiration?"
Yeah,
that does fix that. So it is whatever your gut reaction is, think about that. That is a fix to that. So I would say that is creative thinking on their part. And it is a playtest, so they're waiting to see what you think of it. Yeah. But I think if you play with it, you might like the fact that your bardic inspiration always gets used.
Yeah. Even
though it's using up your reactions. Depends what you would need your reactions for otherwise. The lower bard,
yeah.
No. I'm out for the lore bard. If the other subclasses stay the same and that's the lore bard, I will never play a lore bard again.
Yeah, it is missing out a chunk of what made the lore bard so special.
It was the best feature.
Yeah,
that was the stellar feature of the lore bard.
oh yeah,
and it's gone.
It's the major showpiece. Like you play that because of additional, like, oh yeah,
Wow, unreal.
I mean, they did get rid of.
It's like taking extra attack away from the Valor Bard.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, just like, it's a lot more active. They are getting rid of than the original Bardic Inspiration. I mean, they're getting rid of an element of tracking, and in design, just having to track any piece of like anything. It usually, like, this is why survival campaigns or encumbrance tends to just get ignored. These are additional elements of tracking. Players just tend to like not really.
My gut tells me that a lot of people are going to have heard reaction for Bardic Inspiration, and that their bard has to use that reaction, and they're going to have a negative response to it. I bet a lot of them, once they start playing with it, are going to see some advantages to doing it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet that will happen. Or they'll forget what the frustrations they used to have with the old system. I should mention the difference in the spell casting. I'm into it.
You mean the change
yeah, I mean, it's little bits and pieces. You're picking arcane spells from these schools, and plus we're going to add on these spells. They're going to be prepared. You can change them. This is how Magical Secrets works. All that stuff.
Yeah.
Put it all together. I'm into it.
I do think that's a pretty big flavor win. The specific spell schools I dig that.
Yeah, I think it's good.